The Colorado Missing Indigenous Persons Act went into effect less than 2 weeks ago. Since then, 2 alerts have gone out. One for a 14-year-old boy in Pagosa Springs, the other for a 27-year-old man in Denver. The legislation was designed to expand and improve investigations into missing and murdered Indigenous people.
A former Denver police detective who 20 years ago solved a high-profile murder of an Indigenous woman says this new legislation is a major step in the right direction, but points out that much work still remains. 9 News Crime and Justice reporter Matt Jablow explains.
In December of 1975, Anna Mae Aquash was kidnapped from a house in the 4300 block of Pecos Street in North Denver. 2 months later, she was found shot to death in South Dakota. Her murder remained unsolved for 28 years.
We did a lot of interviews.
Until April of 2003, when thanks in large part to the work of Denver police detective Abe Alonzo,
A case like this comes around once in a lifetime.
police arrested 2 men in connection with Anna Mae's death.
I'm glad we were able to find justice for Anna Mae and her daughters, because her daughters were only 3 and 4 years old when she was executed.
Now retired, Alonzo says had it been around back in the 1970s, Colorado's new Missing Indigenous Person Act might have helped police solve Anna Mae's murder much quicker than they did.
I think the press, to get the word out, so to speak, I think it might have helped. Back then, Native American Indians didn't trust law enforcement, and so that made it real difficult.
Alonzo says he also believes that the new legislation will improve the relationship between law enforcement and Indigenous communities. And if that happens, Alonzo says, many more crimes against Indigenous people will be solved, and faster than before.
In this day and age, I think it's a necessity, especially with the internet and the social media. I think it's a good thing. We have to bring that out to the public.
A footnote: one of the 2 men convicted of Anna Mae's murder agreed to cooperate with prosecutors and was released from prison in 2020 after about 17 years behind bars. His co-defendant is still serving a life sentence in a South Dakota prison.
I think it says a lot, the fact that there is a Missing Indigenous Persons Act. A lot of people are learning about it, that it was under the radar for so long.
It seems by almost everybody's account that this really will help.
Yeah, and then this case, just seeing how many years it took, but how important it was.
And what a difference this might have made, this new legislation, had it been around back then.
Had it been around.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Matt.